Morning, time for your English lesson. And today we're going to be looking at letter writing, in particularly conveying or portraying emotion through letter writing. With an extra twist, we're going to try and include some symbolism. What's symbolism, you might ask? Well, we have looked at symbolism before, and it's when a writer or an author or a filmmaker uses an object to portray or to create a link between different elements of something, okay? It can evoke feelings or it can signify something totally different. Now, in the film, the writer did it very, very effectively. If you think the whole premise of this film was the children were reading letters. So the writer took that and crafted his soldiers' faces out of paper and letters. So there was a very close link there. So although we were seeing soldiers on the battlefield and on the beaches, symbolically they were actually the letters that the boys were reading. It's quite a complex thing to get your head round, and I'm not expecting a hugely sophisticated one, because I just want us to dip your toe in and have a little go. Can you use something in your writing to evoke a memory or to draw links between things? Okay. Now, I said we're going to be writing a letter, and you're going to be writing a letter from a World War II soldier, okay, back home to a loved one. Now, I know we've done similar to this in the past because we did some work on this with when we were learning about the Christmas truce. So this one will be slightly different in that it is to do with the D-Day landings, but also I want you to focus on emotion rather than description. So when we looked at the Christmas truce, it was very much, although we included emotion, it was key to it that we included all the events. I'm not looking so much for that today. I want the emotion, and you might bring some events into it. Now, during the war, letters were used for lots and lots of different things. They could have been messages of love home. They could have been to share knowledge, to give their family hope, just to stay in touch with their families. It could be forgiveness. They might have had a falling out before they went away. They were used to describe events or experiences. But as I said today, it's the emotional aspects that I want you to focus on. Okay, so you need to think really carefully about the feelings and emotions that you, this soldier, you, would have been going through on the Normandy beaches. And we've looked at this over the last couple of days. We're building up each day. And I want you to try and convey these really effectively in your letter. Remember that show, not tell technique. It's so, so important. And also, those colons and semicolons, perfect. The reason colons and semicolons will be so perfect today is because 75 years ago, letters, even to loved ones and to family members, would have been far, far more formal than they would be today. If we write nowadays, it tends to be very informal, very chatty, not necessarily punctuated as it should be. However, 75 years ago, it would still have been very formal. There wouldn't have been contractions. The language used wouldn't have been slang. It would have been proper standard English. And they would have used higher level punctuation. So colons and semicolons would be very important to it. There's an example letter on the next page that I am going to read to you, and it just demonstrates the level of formality that you're aiming for. Okay, so I'll read it to you now. My dearest love, thank you for your last letter. It warmed my heart to know that you were thinking of me and that you are well. We leave tomorrow for a new location. I cannot share very much information with you, other than to say that our aim is simple: to thwart the enemy. As each day passes, I yearn more and more to be back home. My thoughts are filled with simple memories like making paper chains at Christmas and camping in the woods during the summer. Oh, how I miss the smell of the cut grass and hot chocolate by the fire. Every day here feels like a month. Every week feels like a year. I'm surrounded by the bravest people I know, and yet I feel incredibly cowardly. My heart pounds until it hurts with every round I fire, and my nerves feel wrecked as though I am a thinly stretched piece of elastic, ready to snap. This war has been so cruel. It takes good men daily and leaves others like an empty shell. I pray each night for a resolution, and that I will make it safely through each day. The thought of returning to you soon empowers me not to give up. I hope this letter finds you well. Stay safe and know that I love you. Yours, Billy. So read it through again. Use it to support your own writing. Try and get that element of symbolism in. Yours isn't going to be letters and paper soldiers, but think about what it might be. Okay? I look forward to reading your letters. Bye.